All right, so our next set of tips is for just general operations and getting around on the ship and functionality of the ship and things like that, navigating on board and things like that. So things like our first tip is onboard communication is just through the Disney Cruise Line app on the cruise ship's Wi-Fi. You connect to the Wi-Fi, you pull up the Cruise Line app, and you can text everybody in your party.
It takes a little bit of setting up. You've got to put in cabin number and
Right.
last name and things like that.
And you can't use like your text messaging app on your phone because that requires the internet.
Right.
It has to be able to go out to the internet and then back through the internet to the other person's phone. But on the Wi-Fi, on the Cruise Line app, you can text back and forth to other people. All right, a couple other things. The back of the ship vibrates a lot because it's right over the engines. So rooms at the back of the ship tend to vibrate.
Yeah, we haven't stayed in the back. We've stayed midship and we've stayed forward, but there's 2 restaurants in the back, Animator's Palette and Tiana's, and that is a little bit of rough dining experiences when the ship is going, and especially if it's going pretty quick.
We were sitting there one night and your mom's butter dish was shaking
all over the
It looked like
place.
it was going to vibrate off the table.
Yeah, and in the evening when you're doing dinner, there's more entertainment and music playing and activity, so you don't notice it quite as much.
Right.
But in the afternoon when we were there for lunch in Tiana's, it was incredibly noticeable.
All right, the next tip as far as like locations on the ship go, the front of the ship has much better access to the adult stuff because all of the adult amenities seem to be up at the front of the ship. So like our room was right down the hall from the front. Your folks' room was at the very front. And we were able to go to the elevator bank right there and go right up to all the adult things, the adult pool and the adult lounge. The Cove Cafe was all right there.
And then we were able to just go down 2 flights of stairs or hop in the elevator and go down to deck 3. And we could go to the Cadillac Lounge. We could go to the Crown and Fin.
Right.
And we could go to Azure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and also the Walt Disney Theater. That's not adult only, but it was right there. We were so conveniently located to a lot of the entertainment aspects of the cruise.
the theater was right below us.
Right.
You know, some people talk about how they're like, oh, you're going to end up with noise, you know, because the theater's right below you. You're not in your room when they're doing the theater show.
No, and people also said because our room was on deck 5, that is the same floor that the kids' clubs are on, that we were going to hear kids running up and down the halls and people yelling at their kids. We didn't hear anything.
No.
So,
Yeah,
absolutely nothing.
The only noise we heard in our room was from the connecting room that was next to us because we did have a room with a connecting door.
I don't recommend it.
Right. If you don't, you know, have a reason to get a connecting room, like you have other people with you or something.
And if you don't want to hear what's going on in the room next to you, even if it is your parents or somebody in your family,
Right.
I don't recommend
Don't
it.
get a connecting door because you can hear
You can hear everything.
Yeah, for some reason, the sound just goes right through that door.
Yes.
Oh, and then the as far as location goes at the front, the spa is also there.
If you're over 5...
I don't want to share that.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
No, you can't go ahead.
If you're over about probably 5'8", I would say,
Yeah.
the showers in your stateroom are not going to be cozy.
Or
well,
big,
they're going to be
too.
really cozy,
Yeah,
not comfortable.
If you're a big, wide person, too, because the showers in the staterooms are tiny. The showers in the locker rooms for the gym are in the same area as the spa, but anybody can access them, and they're huge.
Just don't tell anyone.
Great hot water.
Keep it a secret.
Great hot water, and if your cabin is at the front of the ship like ours was, I was able to go right out to the elevators, straight up to the spa, and into the shower, and it was like nothing. It was super easy and convenient and a lot better. 18 and over only. Again, the spa and the gym and the locker room showers. So only for adults All right, one last one for navigating around the ship. If you didn't know, the stars point towards the front of the ship. There's stars on the carpet, and the top point of the star points towards the front of the ship. So that will help you get around if you're wandering down a hall and you're lost, you don't know which way your room is. Look down at the carpet and the stars will point towards the fore of the ship. Some people have said that the fish emblems by the rooms point towards the aft. That's not true, because I remember going down one of the halls and seeing fish pointing both directions. On the left side they were pointing back, and on the right side they were pointing forward.
That'd be confusing.
Yeah, so don't follow the fish, but follow the stars. The stars point towards the front of the ship. All right, and our last tip in general operations and navigating around the ship is about the internet access. So if for whatever reason you decide you need to have internet access on board the ship, you have to purchase it. Number one, there's a bunch of different packages. Do you remember what the packages were?
No.
But it was like, so your parents bought
the most expensive one, I believe, which was,
I think it was $100 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, it is not user friendly, especially if you're older than 50.
Well, yeah.
It just wasn't,
because I'm older than 50.
It was not detailed as far as how you used it. I guess the one thing we didn't understand initially was any device that you think you're going to use the internet on, you need to make sure that you have the Disney Cruise Line app downloaded. So if you have a laptop, I'm not really sure how that would work, but my parents had both phones and iPads, and because my mom purchased the internet package on her phone, and before we left port hadn't downloaded the Disney Cruise Line app onto her iPad, she was not able to use the internet on her iPad. And the other tip is, if you do buy the internet package, you need to log in to access the internet, and then you also need to log out. If you don't log out, you're just wasting your data that you have, that you've purchased.
Well, especially, so what happened with your parents was so when they turned on their phones and turned on the internet package that they had purchased, they never logged out, so their phone just sat there pinging out to the internet and downloading news updates and messages and scores. And so they used up all their...
Yeah, so there's nothing, that really explains how this works, and those were just some lessons that we learned, and maybe it'll help somebody.
So that is all our tips and tricks, somewhere around 30.
Well, that's 2 Disney cruises under our belt. I'm sure, there's a lot that we don't know.
If you have any that you know of, leave them in the comments. Well, that's it. So be sure to like, share this video with anybody who'd be interested in these tips, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see our next set of videos. And thanks for watching.